Good afternoon. My name is Erwin Chemerinsky. I have the enormous privilege of being the Dean of Berkeley Law, and it's a great pleasure to welcome you to this very special and joyous occasion. As I look and see those who have just passed the bar, who graduated from Berkeley Law, there is a symmetry because this is the room where I welcomed you as 1L is doing orientation or LLM's doing your orientation. Most of all, I want to congratulate you. This is the culmination of all of the years of legal study and the tremendous hard work that it takes to pass the California bar. So I'd like to start by asking all of those who are LLM students here who are being sworn in to please rise so we can thank you and congratulate you. And now I'd like to ask all of those who are JD graduates here to please rise. And I'd like to hear a large round of applause for all the family members and friends who are here who supported you through law school and through studying for the bar. Today, you receive something very precious, a license to practice law in the state of California and the United States District Court for the Northern District of California. I hope you'll treat it as something very precious and never do anything to put it in danger. I hope you'll recognize, too, throughout your careers, that with it comes an awesome responsibility, the ability to do justice, to help people who need your assistance, to use law to make your community, our society, our world a better place. Let me describe for you what we're going to do this afternoon. I'll tell you the order and then I'll introduce those to you who will be part of the ceremony. Initially, you're going to hear from Nicole Ozer from the Alumni Association board, and then she's going to make a motion to swear you in to the State Bar of California. Justice John Streeter will then speak to you and administer the oath. Then Nicole will come back and make a motion for your admission to the bar of the United States District Court for the Northern District of California. And then Judge Thompson will speak to you and then swear you into that bar. I'm going to do very short bios because each of these individuals has terrific, impressive credentials that can take all afternoon to recite. Nicole Ozer, who's going to be the first person who you'll speak, is the Technology and Civil Liberties Director of the ACLU of Northern California. She's a graduate of Amherst College and of Berkeley Law. She's had a very distinguished career and especially focused on issues of privacy. She's won so many awards for her advocacy. Justice John Streeter had a distinguished career in private practice at a couple of firms. He was president of the California State Bar. He's a justice on the California Court of Appeal. He's a graduate of Stanford and of Berkeley Law. And then you'll hear from Judge Trina Thompson from the United States District Court for the Northern District of California. She graduated undergraduate from Berkeley and from Berkeley Law. So, like some of you, she is what's called a double bear. She had a distinguished career in private practice and as a public defender. She was a Superior Court judge since 2003, and just this year she was sworn in as a federal district court on the United States District Court for the Northern District of California. And as I think about those who have graduated from Berkeley Law, who are role models for all of us what we can do with our law degrees, I cannot think of three more distinguished individuals. So I'll turn it over now to Nicole.
Thank you, Dean Chemerinsky. It is such a pleasure to be here today and have a chance to congratulate each of you and your family and friends who've been with you together on this journey. I'm approaching my 20th reunion, so it's been quite a few years since I sat here in booth for this really meaningful ceremony. But what remains the same is the sense of community and camaraderie, of mutual support and shared celebration that makes Berkeley Law so unique. How we come together today to celebrate our success as a community, to be sworn in together by sitting judges who are fellow alumni of the community, and to formally kick off our careers as lawyers as a community. It's something that when I was sitting here almost 2 decades ago, I took as a given, but it's not. Very few law schools have a ceremony like this and foster the connection while we are here and as our careers continue. I know that I appreciate now more than ever the ability to celebrate moments like this together. I am proud to have spent my career as a public interest attorney, and every year I become even more proud and more grateful to have started my career at Berkeley Law and to be part of this community of amazing lawyers and caring people. I'm sure that all of your paths will take some twists and turns during your career, but I really encourage you to take the time and make the effort, even when work and life gets very busy, to please stay engaged with the Berkeley Law community, to stay connected with your classmates and with the law school. As you start your job, as you look for your next job, as you're doing what you do to work for change, as you grow into experienced lawyers, you will see how important it is that you have the Berkeley Law community to be there to support you and offer you the opportunities when you need it, and also to reach out to you when people need your help. It's not just the people you interact with here, but it is alumni across all the generations. I know that has been true for me. I've spent my career at the ACLU here in California, and there have been the high-profile chances to work together. It's often been my classmates and other alumni who have reached out to me, and I have reached out to them for pro bono opportunities on dozens of important social justice impact cases. My ACLU team and I were able to join a classmate's case as amicus and help her argue and win an important case at the California Supreme Court to support the constitutional privacy and free expression rights of young people. And it's no accident that the California Electronic Communications Privacy Act, CalECPA, is the strongest digital privacy law in the country. It was law school classmates and fellow alumni from across sectors, at other public interest organizations, in academia, at large technology companies, and in government, who worked with me to help make it happen. It's also been the quiet moment of support over the years. When we reach out to each other to help someone find the right lawyer for a family member or friend who needs legal help, or to try to find a new job when someone finds themselves in a difficult work situation, like when a surprise president is elected, the economy takes a downturn, or family circumstances just require a work change. And it's both the little things and the big things that help keep this community strong. Even when your inbox is flooded and your online calendar looks like a game of retro Tetris, which it will, please read and respond to the emails from the law school. Keep the school updated with your information, come to reunions, and stay engaged with the alumni community in your area. Join the local Reach chapter or start a new one in your community if there isn't one yet. And please find a way to give back to current students. It might be through your time, such as signing up for one of the mentoring programs, working with students on pro bono projects, or coming back to campus to speak at a class or an event. And help with your resources. Give to the law school and support events and student opportunities so the school can maintain its excellence and continue to grow even stronger. What makes Berkeley Law the special place that it is all of us working as a community while we are here and when we are out in the world. So to whatever extent you're able to stay involved and give back in the years ahead, I really hope that you will. I'm very glad to have you all as fellow alumni, and it's truly an honor to be here to congratulate you today on behalf of the Alumni Board. So thank you very much. And with that, I will introduce the first person that will actually get to the swearing in part of this swearing in ceremony. Justice Streeter, Honorable Justice John B. Streeter, class of 1981, the Associate Justice of the California Court of Appeal for the First District. Justice Streeter. I moved for admission to the State Bar of California. These graduates from Berkeley Law who have passed the State Bar.
Okay. Normally, I would ask for opposition to the motion, but hearing none. You will shortly see, as you begin your careers as lawyers, although I don't want to presuppose what you're going to be doing, I'm just going to assume that many will see courtrooms from time to time. Occasionally, before announcing his or her ruling, the judge will make some remarks. That's what I'm going to do before I actually turn to the motion. It's such a pleasure to have been invited back, particularly to this room. I mean, I too, like all of you, began my experience here at both in this room. It was nearly 40 years ago almost to the day, after 3 years following my first experience here in Booth as a brand new 1L, that I took the oath of membership admitting me to the State Bar of California, an organization I would ultimately lead, and could hardly imagine something like that. For me, at that time, like you now, it was the end of a journey culminating in graduation from this great and wonderful law school. And what I remember of the day were all of the celebrations with friends, fellow classmates, and family at commencement. And I can feel the energy in this room. It's very much the same. But the end of that journey for me also marked the beginning of another journey, entry into a profession which I have honored and revered to this day, and of which I have always been proud to be a member. Yes, judges are lawyers, although inactive ones. For these past 3 years in your seats here at the law school, I know that you have engaged in a remarkable process at Berkeley Law, one designed to train you in the art of lawyering. It is an amazing and transformative process, one that I assure you has already changed who you are. And only with years of hindsight will you come to appreciate what that means in your life. On one level, I won't sugarcoat it. You've entered into a demanding and rigorous profession, one that expects much of you and that requires sacrifice. But the exciting thing to think about is the capacity you now have to impact the lives of others. Your responsibilities as a member of the bar will be great. Much is packed into the oath that you are about to take. You will owe duties to clients, to the courts, and public institutions before which you appear, and to the public at large, but also to one another as fellow members of the profession. Always remember that those who are true and faithful to their oath collectively will earn public esteem, and those who lose their way can do much to damage the reputation of the profession as a whole and to damage trust in the justice system. Each generation of Berkeley Law graduates must meet the challenges of their time in a new way, a way that no textbook, treatise, or lecture has yet given you the answers. I can honestly say, without exaggeration, that your generation faces challenges as great as any our country has seen since the Civil War. You will not face these challenges alone. Those of us who have gone before you will be by your side as you meet the demands that are now pressing upon us all as a society. But at some point, you must finish the task. You must lead. Because I know the level of talent and character among those assembled here today, it is characteristic of Berkeley Law. I am confident that you will meet that challenge, and I'm looking forward to your leadership. Now, just a few words about what, in a concrete sense, I think it means to be a lawyer. Some of what you should consider as you enter this great profession is not just a matter of duty. It is aspirational. Each of us who has taken the oath carries out these aspirational goals in our own fashion. And I encourage those of you who are willing, for example, to carve out some time from your busy law practices to represent those who are indigent and without counsel. I also ask all of you to reflect upon and to take with utmost seriousness the last line of the California oath, which calls upon you, and I quote, as an officer of the court, to strive to conduct yourself at all times with utmost courtesy, dignity, and integrity. To uphold that oath, let me give you a list of 10 practical things I'd like you always to try to do in your law practice. 1, give your word and then keep it. 2, accept responsibility and then perform. 3, pay attention to detail but keep the whole picture in mind. 4, remember that exploiting short-term advantages often brings bad consequences. 5, of course, be truthful, but also take the trouble to be accurate. Being candid requires both courage and tact. 6, understand that courtesy and graciousness are usually repaid in kind, and that arrogance and the lack of respect for others will circle back upon you and never in a good way. 7th, never ever forget that your integrity is your greatest and most precious asset. 8, be an attentive listener. 9, avoid criticism that is either needless or non-constructive or both. And last, 10th, remember that whether you realize it or not, as you sit here, you are now a teacher, a mentor, and a role model, an ambassador at large for the bar and for the justice system. Conduct yourself accordingly. That is my charge to you. So at this point, I'll turn to the motion. And I would ask you to please stand and repeat after me as I administer the licensing oath for the bar of the state of California. I solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of an attorney and counselor at law to the best of my knowledge and ability. As an officer of the court, I will strive to conduct myself at all times with dignity, courtesy, and integrity. Congratulations, you are now ready to begin the serious work of lawyering.
All right, there's more. There's more. Everyone, thank you so much to Justice Streeter. This is such an exciting day, and I just want to congratulate you all. I now actually have the great pleasure to make the motion for your admission to practice before the Federal District Court. I, Nicole Ozer, as a member of the Northern District of California, hereby move for admission of the newly admitted members of the state of California to practice before the United States District Court in the Northern District of California, pursuant to Civil Local Rule 11.1 and 11.4. And here to administer the oath is the Honorable Trina Thompson, class of 1986, District Judge for the United States District Court of California for the Northern District, Judge Thompson.
Welcome and good afternoon. I'm going to entertain the motion that has gone unopposed very shortly because I know that all of you, I saw you looking at the back of that card, you pretty much have now memorized the oath, so keep the card down because I know you have it. So to those of you who have just graduated from law school and passed the exam, congratulations on your accomplishment. I also want to thank Dean Chemerinsky for his introduction and add my words of welcome to all of you. You have no idea how important this school is for me. This is a campus that I watched from undergrad up and would walk up here, and there was a woman named Beth Cobb O'Neill who would allow me to come into the admissions office and just harass her on a daily basis with questions. She had patience, she was enthusiastic, and then she introduced me to all the different student organizations, and I went in their offices and sat and talked. Why? Because I didn't know any better. And because no one in my family had gone to college, had gone to law school, or had worked in a profession other than perhaps blue collar. So I just did what I knew best, which was to ask a lot of questions. So the privilege of being at Berkeley Law is that you're now in a community of people who will embrace you, who are looking forward to seeing you, who are excited about the foundation of which you started. To the parents, understand that these graduates may not give you the due that you're entitled to at this time because they've had kind of a rough go. They've had to do a lot of testing and learn a lot under a global pandemic. They weren't able to foster the types of relationships that many of us were able to when we were in graduate school. So I want to congratulate the families for being so supportive of all of these new admittees. This was a journey that was unique for everyone, and everyone was able to stand up and be supportive. And I know how proud you are of each of your graduates. Your support will remain important to them, and they will need your support as they embark upon their new careers. Now, I was going to administer the oath immediately because I know some of you, much like what I call my alternate jurors, are almost ready to run out the door. So I'm going to break code and I'm going to ask that you stand now and then I'll give my remarks. So if you'll all please stand. And this is also to get you moving. All right, now please repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear and affirm that as an attorney and as a counselor of this court, I will conduct myself uprightly and according to the law, and that I will support the Constitution of the United States. Thank you and welcome to the Northern District. Thank you. You may be seated. And the motion unopposed is hereby granted. Now, in this moment of celebration, I want to share some things with you about who I am and why it's important that you now really embrace this new journey ahead of you. You've heard the word integrity. I cannot tell you how important that is. Your word is your strongest asset. Your integrity is your strongest asset. Judges do talk a little bit. And they do share when they have those encounters where they can't really trust the person who has appeared in front of them. That's not a good look. You don't want to be one of those individuals. I have to share that up front because in this time of vitriol and all of the different things that we've been seeing in the press, people have just abandoned decorum, courtesy, and integrity. And it does not serve people well in the long run. So remember that you're not just representing yourself, you're representing your family, you're representing the school, and you're representing each of your alums, including those of us who've just administered the oath. And we are happy to see each of you. We're happy to see you walk in our courtrooms. And we're even more elated when we know that you move in the form of integrity. Now, practicing law and serving as a judge in the Bay Area, I can tell you that many of your classmates from Berkeley Law will be your best friends, your opposing counsel, some of your judges, the godparents of your children, and they may even be the sponsor for your next career. So I often tell people if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything because you don't know who might be the cheerleader, the mentor, the sponsor in your future. The people that you've met here, you will meet them again in the future in the community, and they will remain a valuable person in your life over the years. New faces and new challenges. Many of you will be looking for other jobs. You may not like the first one that you take. And many of you will remain in those jobs forever because it is your life calling and it's the work that you want to do. Lawyers must always try to balance the demands of your clients, your employers, your supervisors, your coworkers, and even judges. That means that while maintaining your own physical and mental health and your connection with your families and friends, I urge you not to lose track of why you decided to become a lawyer. It can be tempting to sacrifice your true priorities in the short term while trying to achieve financial stability and bill enough hours. The pressures of law practice can be daunting. The desire to win can be overwhelming. You may think that after you've achieved certain goals, that you have more time or resources to turn back to your original dreams. But guess what? Everybody else was still living and doing their thing. And they're not too impressed when you just show up later on. But the lawyer that you will be in the future will be formed in part by the experiences you accumulate along the way. It's important that you not give up too much of yourself. Now, I'm someone that started out with very humble beginnings. I started out in a little neighborhood in West Oakland, moved my way on through. My parents moved us to another city, and I had the misfortune of having to have foster parents in my high school years. People told me I would never go to college. They didn't know me. People told me I'd never go to law school. They didn't know me. And then I went into private practice after serving as a public defender in Alameda County, one of the best jobs I ever had. And if you have the opportunity to work and do public service, grab at it because it will humble you. It will give you perspective. I've never been one to go running for red bottom shoes or to try to be at the most elaborate galas because I try to live within my means and I try to be available for people who are important to me, those who are a little bit more marginalized and may not have the options available to them. That doesn't mean that I don't like galas and red bottom shoes. It just means that I made a choice. And when you make those choices, don't feel that you have to apologize for being you. We need you. We need everybody. We need a diverse group of lawyers from a diverse group of backgrounds. We need individuals who have been very privileged. We need individuals who've not been privileged. We need those who are mathematicians. We need those who do paragraphs and not graphs. We need each of you. So when you walk in a room and someone does mental karate, Just ignore it. There's no substitute for preparation. If you're prepared, you will do well. If you make a mistake, own it and let people know that you made a mistake. Because once you make a mistake, it's easy to fix it and you'll never make that mistake again. When someone says something disparaging about one of your colleagues or someone you care about, don't join in that conversation. That's none of your business. Because your business is about being the best lawyer you can be, representing yourself, your family, and your school, and that individual who couldn't get up that morning because they were having stomach aches because they were worried about the hearing that you were going to that was just another day in the neighborhood for you. So keep in mind, you're very blessed. You've been given an opportunity that is not given to everybody. Just look at the bar results overall. And you have an opportunity to give back. And the reason why I'm really honing in on this is that the United States District Court for the Northern District, we tried through the Federal Pro Bono Project in conjunction with the Justice and Diversity Programs in San Francisco to bridge this gap between those individuals in the community who can't afford these expensive lawyers that come out of Berkeley Law. It gives you an opportunity to give back to your community while actually honing your skills and getting an opportunity to perhaps be involved in a settlement conference, to get to know some of the judges, and to have an opportunity to participate in oral argument. My standing orders, I'm inviting the law firms to let junior lawyers come in and argue some of the maybe not as important, but important motions before me. And it's amazing how well prepared they are. It's amazing how they have mastered the law. And once they have that experience early, the court becomes their living room. I urge you not to yield personal values and ethics in what you believe in today. You've taken this oath. We are justifiably proud of each and every one of you as you embark upon your career in such a noble profession as the law. The law has been my emancipation. I have been able to do things I never thought I'd be able to do. I told Dean Chemerinsky every day I go to work, I'm like, they're letting me have this job? I get to come in here every day? I don't need an alarm clock. And the joy of seeing young lawyers who I was able to select to work in my chambers is probably the greatest gift that I've ever been given. So I'm so pleased to have sworn each of you in to this profession. And if you don't remember anything I tell you, remember this. You can master the unique stress that you are going to undertake as a lawyer so long as you're honest and prepared. Those are the only two things that you need. You came here with everything you needed if you got into Berkeley Law. So congratulations, and it's been my pleasure. Thank you.
Judge Thompson, Justice Streeter, Ms. Ozer, thank you so much for those inspirational words. I just have a few announcements. In terms of the state bar oath codes for all of you admitted to the bar, they will stay here with the Berkeley Law staff. Justice Streeter will sign each of those cards, and then Berkeley Law will turn them into the state bar. We have a reception upstairs, just right up these stairs in the Warren and Goldberg rooms, and I hope all of you will join us at that reception. There are final exams going on right now in the building. You remember what those are, right? So we're going to try to keep the reception in this area so not disturb the students who are taking exams. And let me just conclude by asking everyone here to join in a huge round of applause to congratulate our graduates who've just been admitted to the state bar.